Hari Om. So let us start. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sinduraruna Vigraham Tranayana Manikya Mauli Spurat Tara Nayaka Shekaram Smidamukhi Mabina Vakshoruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Dattotpalam Vipratim Saumyam Ratnakadastarakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam Dhyayet Padmasanastam Vikasidavanam Padmavatraya Dakshim Hemabam Pidavastram Karagalidalasat Hemavadmam Varangim Sarvalankara Yuktam Satatamavayadam Bhaktanam Rambavanim Shri Vidyam Shantamurtim Sagalasuranuddam Sarvasambat Pradatrim Sagunguma Vilebana Maliga Chumbikasturikam Samandazideshanam Sasharajavavashangusham Ashesha Janamohini Marunamalya Bhushojvalam Jaba Kusumavasuram Jabavidau Smaredambikam Arunam Karuna Tarangidakshim Dhrutabashangusha Pushpavana Chabam Anima Diviravradam Mayukaihi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Maheshi Om Parashakti Namaha Om Parashakti Namaha Om Parashakti Namaha. Today we will do from 56 till 65. We will attempt to complete till 65 today. So you can go to the names of Lalitha Sahasranamam, and as we have chanted, start with an Om and end with Namaha. Each is a name of Ma Tripura Sundari, Lalitha Tripura Sundari. We'll start with the 56th name. Om Shriman Nagaranayikaye Namaha. Om Chindamani Grihandastaye Namaha. Om Panchabrahmasanastitaye Namaha. Om Mahapadmadavi Samsthaye Namaha. Om Kadambavanavasinye Namaha. Om Sudhasagaramadhyasthaye Namaha. Om Kamakshe Namaha. Om Kamadainyai Namaha. Om Devarshigana Sankadastoyamanatma Vaibhavaye Namaha. Om Bhandasuravadodhyukta Shakti Sena Samanvidaye Namaha. So these are the 10 names we are going to attempt to complete today. Time is 6:34. Just hopeful that 7:34. I'm just hopeful that we will do justice in what we are planning today. So the first name is Shriman Nagara Naika. Shriman Nagara Naika. Om Shriman Nagara Naikayai Namaha. Naika basically means mistress or the head or heroine or whatever you want to call that. Shriman Nagara. Shriman Nagara refers to the most auspicious. Shri means auspicious. Shriman Nagara. Nagara is the most auspicious or the most prosperous city. Now, Devi's city is called as Saubhagyapura. It is called as the most auspicious or most prosperous city. And where is Devi's city? We covered that in the earlier one, in the 55th one, Sumeru Madhya Shringastha. Where it is? Where is this? This is in the middle of Mount Meru. Mount Meru has got 4 peaks, and she is in the middle of the 4 peaks. So Devi's city, which is in the middle of Saubhagyapura, is in the middle of Mount Meru. And where is it? This is in the ocean of nectar. Yeah, that is also coming. There is another name coming later also called Sudhasagara Madhyastha, which is the middle of the ocean of nectar. Now, this is a concept, and the concept has also got another meaning, which is the auspicious city, which is also referred to as Sri Chakra. It is referred to as Sri Chakra. And who is the head of the Sri Chakra? Parashakti. Which is why when we do the Lalitha Sahasranamam Stotram, before we start the Lalitha Sahasranamam Stotram and after the Dhyana Shlokam, we chant Om Parashakti Namaha. She is the most important person in the whole chanting, Parashakti. What is a chakra? Chakra is something that keeps always rotating. So the Sri Chakra is symbolizing the revolving universe. So that is also another aspect of the description of Lalitha Tripura Sundari. Now, if you look at the right at the center of this Sri Chakra, what represents the Devi? You have a triangle, and in the center of the triangle is a bindu. And if you look at the top, from the top view, you will see a triangle, and you will see the bindu at the middle, which refers to the human body. The human body is referred to the triangle and the center. So, if you look at the different names, Sri Chakra has got different names. It's known as Chakra Raja, Navayoni Chakra, Viyat Chakra, and Matraga Chakra. Matraga Chakra. So there are different names of Sri Chakra as well, which we all need to be aware of. So if somebody is referring to a different name of Sri Chakra, we should be aware that this is also referring to the same Sri Chakra. The presiding deity of Sri Chakra is Parashakti, and Lalitha Devi is also called as Parashakti. So she is the person who transcends all the worlds in her Leelas. Yeah, which is why she is also called as Lalitha Devi. So Shriman Nagara Nayiga. So Shriman Nagara Nayigayai Namaha. 57th one. Chintamani Grihantastha. Chintamani Grihantastha. Chintamani, we have come across Chintamani before. Chintamani is a wish fulfilling gem. Chintamani refers to a wish fulfilling gem. And it is very simple. You can look at Chinta. Chinta is your thought. Mani is the gems. So Chintamani Grihantastha. Griha means house. Antastha or Antastha refers to the staying within. So Chintamani Grihantastha. Who is Devi? Devi is the person who resides in a house built out of the Chintamani or the wish fulfilling gem. That is what the name literally means. Now, if you look at your perspective, everyone's individual perspective, where do we have wishes? Our wishes are there in our minds. Our wishes are there in our minds. So Chintamani is effectively our mind, and it is our wish to fulfill these wishes that are there, that arise in the mind. In order for the wishes to be fulfilled within our mind, it is important for us to ensure that Devi comes and rests within our mind. Devi has to come and rest within our mind. Only if Devi comes and rests within our mind will we be in a position to achieve awareness of the presence of Devi within. So, in order to achieve Devi, even the Devas are supposed to have worshipped Devi in the Chintamani house or the Chintamani Grihantastha. Om Chintamani Grihantasthaye Namaha. The next one, 58. This is a very interesting one. Pancha Brahmasana Sthita Yai Namaha, or Pancha Brahmasana Sthita. Pancha Brahmasana Sthita. Now, the house, we have already covered the house. What is the house made of? Chintamani gems. The Devi is staying in the Chintamani gems. Now, what we are referring to is the Pancha Brahmasana, the place where Devi is seated. Sthita, that is where she is seated. Pancha Brahmasana Sthita. What is this Pancha Brahma? Pancha Brahmasana or Pancha Brahma is the asana where she is seated. And what are these Pancha Brahmas? They say that these Pancha Brahmas are effectively Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra and Ishvara. Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra and Ishvara according to tantric texts. According to tantric texts, this is the makeup of the Pancha Brahmas. Pancha Brahmas. The pillow is considered to be Ishana and the mat is Sadashiva. The mat is Sadashiva. The four bed supports. Bed is Lord Shiva. So she is lying down on Lord Shiva, or she is sitting on Lord Shiva, and the pillow is Ishana. The mat on which the feet is kept is Sadashiva, and the four bed supports. The four supports of the beds are the four supports are Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, and Ishvara. These are the four supports. You have this thing which is used for spitting. It's called as the spittoon. If you go to olden homes, or you see all this, all the big rich people, or whatever you want to call them, zamindars. So there will be one man walking around with one vessel, and what is that vessel? He will be chewing betel leaf and he'll spit into that vessel. Right? You have probably seen that in the movies also. That vessel is called as a spittoon. That vessel is called as a spittoon. So who is the spittoon? Spittoon is referred to as Indra. Indra is referred to as the spittoon. Who is Indra? Indra is the person who is the highest symbol of comfort and prosperity. Yeah. So if all the worldly and heavenly riches, after getting all the money, all the riches, so many houses here and there, so much of gold sitting in your locker and this and that, all that amounts only to being a spittoon for Devi's use, then what is the sense in running after these things? There is no point in running after wealth. What should we be running after? We should be running after getting Devi and seeing Devi within our minds. That is what we need to achieve, which goes back to the previous one, Chintamani Grihantastha. Even though it is referred to as the house, our mind is the house, and we should have Devi installed inside our mind. So the four divinities, they say they are standing motionless. If these four divinities are moving around, what will happen to Devi? Devi will be unstable. So these four people, the four divinities are standing motionless to support Devi. Yeah. And only that means there is another philosophical meaning also, which basically means that your mind has to be still. Only if your mind is still, your body is still, only then can you realize Devi within you. I say that for doing meditation, the first thing that you need to do, what do you need to do? You need to sit erect, backbone straight, head and neck in a straight line. That is the first step. Sitting still. How many people can actually sit still during meditation? That is the biggest challenge in the first place. So your body has to be still. If your body is still, your mind is still, only then you can realize Devi within you, can hold within. There is another interpretation of this as the Pancha Brahmas. There is another interpretation of this, which is the interpretation saying that these Pancha Brahmas refer to the five elements. So you have these five elements such as Sadyojata, representing the earth, and that is associated with Kriya Shakti, Vamadeva representing water, associated with Jnana Shakti, Aghora representing fire, associated with Icha Shakti, Tatpurusha representing air and associated with the Prana, and Ishana representing space and representing the formless self. Now, Sadyojada refers to Brahma, Vamadeva refers to Vishnu, Aghora refers to Rudra, Tatpurusha refers to Maheshwara, and Ishana refers to Sadashiva, all of which we have covered in the previous description. So, this is a very interesting explanation of another name of Devi, which is Om Pancha Brahmasanastitayai Namaha. She who sits on a seat made of the 5 Brahmas. The next one, 59th, Mahapadmadavi Samstha or Mahapadmadavi Samsthayai Namaha. Mahapadma. Padma means lotus. Lotus. Mahapadma means big lotus. That is referred to as the Sahasrara, the lotus which is on your head, which is the Sahasrara Chakra, or the 1000-petaled lotus which is on your forehead. Atavi is forest. Samstha resides in this place. So the 1000-petal lotus refers to the great lotus forest. It is referred to as a forest, but apart from the forest, there is also a reference to the 1000-petal lotus which is on one's Shiras or the Sahasrara Chakra. Now, if you look at where Lalitha Tripurasundari Devi is, she is at the base of the spine. Who is here at the top? We have Lord Shiva at the top. What does Devi do? Devi transcends all the way up and comes and meets Lord Shiva at the top. And that is what we should all be looking forward to. So, the playground of Devi is the Sahasrara Chakra, the 1000-petal lotus which is at the Shiras. Mahapadmadavi Samsthayai Namaha. 60th, Kadamba Vanavasinyai Namaha or Kadamba Vanavasini. That is her name, 60th name of Lalitha Tripurasundari. She who resides in the Kadamba forest. Kadamba is the flower. Kadamba Vana is Kadamba forest. Vasini stays, lives or resides. She who resides in the Kadamba forest. Kadamba Vana is again a picture from the Tantric tradition. And if you look at the Chintamani mansion, which is where the Devi is living, the Chintamani mansion, there are all around the Chintamani mansion, we have temples of several precious gems, and in addition to that, we have also got this Kadamba forest. So, this is the Shankaracharya also calls Devi's abode as surrounded by a grove of celestial trees. So, this is the one of the names of Lalitha Tripurasundari. Kadamba Vanavasinyai Namaha. Om Kadamba Vanavasinyai Namaha. She who resides in the Kadamba forest. 61. Sudhasagara Madhyastha. Sudhasagara Madhyasthayai Namaha. Sudha is nectar, or the ocean of nectar is Sudhasagara. Sudhasagara is ocean of nectar. Madhyastha means in the middle of the ocean. So the ocean, we covered this in a different way in a few names back. The ocean of nectar is said to be the bindu of the Sri Chakra. So right in the middle of the Sri Chakra, we have the ocean, and right in the middle of that we have Lalitha Tripurasundari. Yeah. So the ocean of nectar is something which is infinite. If you are talking of an ocean, it is something which is infinite. It is like music, Sangeetam. If you look at Sangeetam is also infinite. If somebody is turning around and saying, I've learnt music, he is lying, because you cannot learn music. However much you know music, there will still be so much more that you have to learn in music, because you can never say that you have learnt music. Yes, you have learnt a little music. That is probably the right way of saying it. If you say that you have learnt music, you are lying. You can't learn music. There is so much, because they say that Sangeetam is a Sagaram. Sangeetam is a sagaram. It is an ocean. You cannot completely cover all of it that is there in music. There are people who are masters, who are capable of saying so many things and singing so many things, but they are all students. Whoever, in fact, there is one great singer called as K.V. Narayanasamy. K.V. Narayanasamy. K.V. Narayanasamy is a very great singer of classical music from Palakkad. And he was an exponent. He used to give so many kacheris. But when people used to pass his house in Palakkad, I think he was from Kalpati if I remember right. When people used to pass his house, despite his giving so many kacheris, what used to happen was they would listen to him sing the first lesson. The first lesson in Maya Malava Gaula, which all music students learn. They would listen to him singing that Maya Malava Gaula instead of going and singing other things. So then one day, one of these people who was just passing by turned around and asked him, "Sir, you're such an exponent of music. Why are you singing this song?" He said, "I haven't learned this song itself properly. I haven't even mastered this. How can I go onwards to the next one?" So this is this reflects to his humility and also the fact that nobody can claim that they are masters of anything. Coming back to this, Sudha Sagara Madhyastha. Ocean of nectar is infinite, and you have bliss and pure consciousness, which is right at the center of the ocean. Bliss and pure consciousness refers to whom? Lalita Tripura Sundari. Yeah. Now, if you're referring to the from the yogic perspective, the Sahasrara Chakra is also right at the top of it, and it is our objective to try and reach and awaken the Sahasrara Chakra as part of our yogic practices. Sudha Sagara Madhyastaye Namaha. 62nd, Kamakshi. Om Kamakshai Namaha. Kamakshai Namaha. What is Kama Akshi? Akshi means eyes. So Kama is the person, she whose eyes awaken desire, or she who has beautiful eyes, very beautiful eyes. Now the desire referred to here is not physical desire, but the desire to achieve the ultimate goal of life, which is liberation. We need to become liberated souls. In order to become liberated souls, what do we need to do? We need to suppress our negative tendencies. So, if you look at that word Kama, the word Ka refers to Saraswati and Ma refers to Lakshmi. So, knowledge and material wealth are the goals of those who worship Devi. Now, for that to happen, what should you do? You should suppress your physical tendencies and look at your ultimate goal of life, which is liberation. They say that those eyes shower their blessings generously on her devotees. So, looking at Devi's eyes, and getting one glance from the corner of her eyes on us will bless us immensely. So that is what we need to aim for in our lives. Now, the other question is, where can we see a visual of Kamakshi? The best place, in fact, Shankaracharya talks about it, the best place to see Kamakshi is in Kanchi. In Kanchipuram is the best place to go and have a darshan of Kamakshi Devi. Yeah, so we have had the fortune of visiting that place for, I think it was for Devi Mahatmya, was it? For Devi Mahatmyam. So, if you haven't been to Kanchipuram, please do make a trip. It's a nice place to also buy a lot of saris. So you can go and buy your saris also in Kanchipuram. Yeah. So we will give you recommendations also where you can buy. Okay. All right. We'll move onwards to the next name, Kamadainyai or Kamadainyai Namaha. Kamada refers to Lord Shiva. Ayini is bringing good fortune. Kamadainyai, so Kamada is Lord Shiva and Ainyai is bringing good fortune. She who grants all wishes is Kamadainyai Namaha. Now, if you look at the Brahmanda Purana talks of both these names, Kamakshi and Kamadayini. And why were these names given? These names were given by Lord Brahma because of the kindness and generosity of Lalitha Sahasranamam. Yeah. Now, there are two ways in which you can look at it. Yeah. One way is that she who brings good fortune to Shiva. She brings good fortune to Shiva. That is one way of looking at it. And the other way of looking at it is that she who destroys kama, desire. She destroys desire, wrong desire. So that is the name of Lalitha Sahasranamam. Now, the primary meaning is the same. That is, she who grants all the wishes, all the dharmic wishes of her devotees. What is that name? That name is Kamadainyai Namaha, which is the name of Lalitha Sahasranamam. 64th. I think we are doing well for time. 64th. Devarshigana Sanghata Stuyamanatma Vaibhava. Devarshigana Sanghata Stuyamanatma Vaibhavayai Namaha. That is the name. Devarshigana Sanghata Stuyamanatma Vaibhavayai Namaha. Devarshis. Devarshi is a short form of Devarishis, which is referring to the Rishis. Gana is groups. Sanghata is an assembly. Sanghadagar in Malayalam. Sanghata, which is an assembly. Stuyamana is being praised. Atma, self. Vaibhava, bringing glory. That's what Vaibhava refers to. Now, this literal meaning is that she whose might is the subject of praise by multitudes of gods and sages. She whose might, the might of Lalitha Sahasranamam, is the subject of praise by multitudes of gods and sages. Sanghata, that word has got another name, another meaning. It's a name of a particular type of hell. It's not the hell that is being referred to by one world leader now. It's a different type of hell. This Sanghata, hell, is one where the devas are being pushed into. Why were these devas pushed into it? Because of Bandasura. We will talk about Bandasura coming as the next one. Yeah. So devas, in fact, if you look at all the Puranas, refer to the various situations, easy way. It's like the snake and ladder game. When the snake and ladder game, you go very easily, take the ladder and climb up. All that it needs is it's one snake bite and you come all the way down. So we are having situations in our life, daily life. Everybody has situations where we make progress spiritually. One snake bite, come all the way down. So we are doing this ladder, snake. So this is a constant thing that is happening in most of our lives. What we should do is take a ladder, take one more ladder and go further as high as we possibly can. So the devas, we used to have a lot of the snake and ladder game. But most of the devas, were elevated souls. They used to get bitten by these snakes and used to fall from grace from their positions in various ways. So what this mantra means is that the Devi is the one who is being praised for saving them from their fall. Before they fall, the Devi protects these Devarshis and prevents them from falling from their positions of grace and high positions. Yeah. So now there is another meaning also, that she has the might to kill Bandasura for the sake of the Devas and the Rishis. So we will come to that when we go into the 65th shloka. So we look at this again. The meaning of this is Devarshi Gana Sanghata Stuyamanatma Vaibhavayai Namaha. She whose might is the subject of praise by multitudes of gods and sages. So the last one for today is Bhandasura Vadodyukta Shakti Sena Samanvitayai Namaha. Bhandasura Vadodyukta Shakti Sena Samanvitayai Namaha. Bhandasura, we are aware. Bhandasura was the evil Asura who came out of the Agni, who was created by Chitrasena, who was one of the followers of Lord Shiva, was part of the Bodhaganas. So, Bhandasura Vadodyukta, yeah, Vada Udyukta, yeah. So, the intention of killing, Bhandasura Vadodyukta, the intention of doing Vadha, which is killing of Bhandasura. Shakti Sena. Shakti Sena is the army of Shaktis, of all the female strength was there. Shakti Sena Samanvita, accompanied by. So she who was endowed with an army of Shaktis intent on slaying Bhandasura. She is intent on slaying Bhandasura. And how was she doing it? With an army of Shaktis. Now we have covered who was Bhandasura. We'll go through that once more. We all remember that Lord Shiva incinerated Kama. And from that ashes, Chitrasena, a member of Shiva's entourage of Bodhaganas, using his power of penance, created a very powerful human being. Lord Brahma is supposed to have said, well done, well done. In Sanskrit, we said Bandha, and that's how Bhandasura came about. There is another meaning of Bhanda as well. We'll come to that. And then after, because he came from the wrath of the Shiva's fire of wrath from one of the leaders of the Buddhas, he turned out to be an Asura. He turned out to be a demon or an Asura. And he did severe penance and made Lord Shiva appear before him. And Lord Shiva, if you remember, earlier we covered that as well. Lord Shiva is Shipra Prasadi. Lord Shiva is also Shipra Kobi. Shipra Prasadi, easily pleased. Shipra Kobi, easily angered. So we should remember that. It's very easy to please Lord Shiva. Very easy to make him upset as well. Yeah. So he did severe penance, made Shiva appear before him, and obtained all the boons required for his own protection. And then he started his game, Asura game, which is attacking all the Devas and the Rishis. And all of them prepared a sacrifice, a yaga for his destruction. And after that, Indra, the chief of the Vedas, started an even more powerful yaga aimed at pleasing Parashakti. And from that was born Lalitha Tripura Sundari. The Devas sang hymns in her praise. You remember how the Lalitha Sahasranamam came about. And she assembled an army of Shaktis to face Bhanda. Now, philosophically, there is Bhanda means unashamed. Bhanda means unashamed. Asu means life and Ra means destroyed. So, Bhanda Asura is one who destroys life with no shame and no conscience. We are all Bhandasuras. We all have an element of Bhandasura within us because we also find ways to mess with our own happiness. We do things which are unacceptable, and then finally we sit back and regret saying, oh, we shouldn't have done that. So therefore, we also have an element of Bhandasura within us. So the reason why we do this is because of our ignorance. So Bhandasura is the jiva that is bound to the body due to ignorance. And ignorance makes the jiva prone to killing and incites all violence and all kinds. So the yaga or the tapas removes ignorance and the body consciousness is completely removed. It is from this sacrificial fire pit that Devi arises. So we burn our ignorance, and from that ignorance comes Devi. So, and what she does is she cuts all the bonds of karma and vasanas and gives us ultimate liberation. So what we should do is, it is a philosophical aspect is that there is a Bandasura within us, and that Bandasura is all ignorance. What we need to do is get rid of that ignorance, burn that ignorance in the tapas, and from that tapas and and sadhana, what will come? Devi will arise. So this is the meaning of Bandasura Vadodyukta Shakti Sena Samanvita, or Bandasura Vadodyukta Shakti Sena Samanvitayai Namaha. She who is endowed with an army of Shaktis intent on slaying Bandasura. So this covers our plans for today. Um, we will meet again tomorrow, and we will attempt to cover from 66 to 75, which is actually quite a challenge. But if we are not able to do up till 75, we'll at least complete up till from 66 to 70. That is our minimum challenge for tomorrow. And post that, like I said, depending on whether whether the travel plans happen or not, we will determine what is the future course of action. So we will close with the Shanti mantra. Om Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma hamritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Karacharana Kridam va Kayajam Karmajam va Shravananayana va Manasam va Paradam Vihidam Avihidam va Sarvamedhakshamasva. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.